Hello and welcome to Shutter Study. So last time we had a look at the different sensor sizes that are available on different cameras and phones. Today we're going to be looking at those elements that are affected by the different sensor sizes, megapixels and crop factor. As stated before, megapixels tend to have an effect on the quality when it comes to printing, but as you go up higher there is a compromise on the actual image performance, especially in low lighting, and more so if there's a smaller sensor. So say there's 16 megapixels in a phone sensor. That's not enough room for all of them, and some of the pixels can't detect what others see, meaning that you get the equivalent of dead pixels in your image, but as the pixels are smaller in this space, it means in low light conditions they can't pick up as much either. If we stick with the 16 megapixels and move them to a large sensor like the aps-c you find in most SLRs, you can see they have much more room to breathe and are able to take in much more detail for sharpness and low lighting. So when you're looking at a new phone or a camera, try to keep in mind the size of the product as well as the number of megapixels to find the right balance between the two. You don't want to end up falling for a numbers game. Now, as mentioned before, the size of the sensor also affects another element called crop factor. Crop factor is a way of telling all the different sensor sizes in a universal method. It's known as the most effective method of measuring a different sensor size from a compact all the way up to a full frame camera. We'll take a look at the basic 18mm, which is found on most standard cameras. It's a considerably wide angle lens, especially on a full frame camera. Because it's smaller, to find the correct ratio on an aps-c sensor in comparison to a full frame, you have to modify it by 1.5 or 1.6 if you use a Canon. So that 18mm is going to be the equivalent of around 27 to 29mm on that sensor. The Micro Four Thirds sensor that you find in Panasonic and Olympus CSCs has a crop factor of 2.0, so the 18mm then becomes 36mm. With the Nikon 1 series, its crop factor is 2.7, so that 18mm is going to be the equivalent of around 49mm. On compact cameras and phones, the crop factor has to be multiplied around 5 or 6, depending on what size they will be, it will be around 90mm. What that means is most cameras that are affected by crop factor also have a further magnification, so if you're wanting to do close-up photography such as wildlife or sports, you get an extra benefit from that. But on the flip side, wide angle is affected, which is why most film companies and production crews like to use the full frame cameras so you can actually get the exact measurements that are required. If you have any further questions regarding sensors, their sizes, megapixels or crop factor, feel free to post in the comments below, ask on our Facebook, Twitter or Tumblr. If you'd like to learn more with Shutter Study, please subscribe.